Hey, Bludgeon here with some very exciting news. Direwolf has just announced their second expansion for Clank Catacombs called Underworld. They just announced it as part of the Dice Tower Summer Spectacular. They didn't give a lot of details, but if you want to watch the trailer they put out, I put that in the link below. Okay, so like I said, there's not a lot of information here, but we're going to look at what they have given us as well as screenshots from the YouTube video to try to figure out what's going on with this expansion. I'm a big fan of Clank Catacombs, so this is super exciting for me. Okay, let's start off with the description from the Direwolf webpage. Far below the catacombs lies a deeper domain filled with untold riches and immense danger. Test your fate in the fabled Underworld. Unique items tempt you in Underworld Markets, and mysterious fate cards offer new ways to enhance your score. Discover mystical towers to increase your speed, reshape your deck at an underground lake, or recruit an Imp Assistant to learn even more from your secret tomes. Screeching harpies hoard precious undercoins, and the Underworld Guardian offers special riches to those who survive the encounter. Glory awaits for the boldest thieves. Pay the toll or meet your doom in Clank Catacombs Underworld. Oh, it's well written. Okay, so let's take a look at the components. All right, so here's the components. I think this is basically what comes in the box. You can see the box art up there. Looks very cool. So just taking a quick look here, we can see we've got some new in the depths tiles. We've got the Underworld tiles, the red ones over there, the sort of pentagon, and then the sides that go onto it, I guess. We've got new dungeon cards. This is the fate card deck, I guess. This is maybe, what is that guy called again? The what is he? The Underworld Guardian, I guess. We can see Undercoins. I assume these maybe are harpies. A new artifact. Looks like we're going to get new secrets. So minor secrets and major secrets. That's something that did not come with the first expansion, Lairs and Lost Chambers. So nice to see those here. Looks like maybe some new prisoners as well. That was something that I felt was kind of missing with the last expansion. So nice to see that here. Looks like some ladders. We'll talk about those. All right. So that's basically what looks like comes in the box. I'm not really sure what this stuff is. Let's move on to the next page here. Okay. So a closer look at some of the new in the depths tiles. And here we can see how you get into the Underworld. So you can see that on these tiles, there are some ladders. So you can see ladder labeled B, up there there's an E, D, and C. And so I think when you find one of those places, you can go down into the Underworld, and the letter I think will match a certain spot on the Underworld map, and that's where you'll end up. Here there's some kind of slide. So I don't know if that's optional, or maybe if you end up in that room, you just fall into the Underworld. That's my guess, because if you look at the tunnels leading into it, they're all one-way tunnels, and all of them just like land you right there. So, you know, you're not going to know that that's where you're going to end up. But if you're like on a tile right here, for example, and you decide, okay, I'm going to go this way. If you land on this tile, if this is the tile you pull, like, you're going to end up in the Underworld. So I'm guessing that's probably like a surprise. You're in the Underworld kind of thing, which sounds pretty fun. Looks like the little castle thing. This must be the towers they talked about. They said towers that increase your speed. Discover mystical towers to increase your speed. So I don't know what this means. My first thought was like, maybe if you land on one of those tiles, it just gives you a bonus boot. So it's kind of like a free movement space. But if you look at the tile right here, you can see that there's a tower on a crystal cave, and crystal caves mean you can't use boots anymore this round. So that would kind of not make sense there. So I really have no idea what that means, but I'm interested to find out. What else can we see here? Okay, well, we can see that there's some new, again, I think these are major secrets here. So I don't know what this potion does. It looks like it heals you, gives you a boot, and then there's a heal in a pentagon. So maybe that means, okay, the pentagon is the shape of the main Underworld map. Like if we go back here, you can see the main Underworld map, there is a pentagon. So maybe that's a symbol for Underworld. So maybe like that potion heals you for one no matter where you are, and maybe it heals you for another one only if you're in the Underworld. That's just a guess. What else can we see? Okay, well, on these artifact spots here, you can see there's like, that must be the harpy, and I have no idea what that means. But over here, it looks like there are some harpy tiles. So I don't know, maybe if you land on a space with that harpy symbol, you can fight a harpy if you have 2 swords. What does it do to fight a harpy? I don't know, but that is my guess about what's going on there. It looks like this tile up here has an underground river, and it looks like if you go in there, you can trash a card. And in the description, it says reshape your deck at an underground lake. So I'm guessing that means trash a card. Nice thing to do. So they've increased the amount of trashing that you can do just on the board. In Layers in Lost Chambers, they had like the pit trap spaces, which allowed you to trash a card from your hand, which was a little bit awkward and sort of thematically weird. It's like a pit trap, but it's like actually a good space to go to. But the river there, it looks like just a normal trash. So that could be from your hand in play or your discard pile, which is obviously nicer. That's what it looks like it is to me. Anything else here? Well, we can see the Fate deck up there. Oh, up at the top there's the market. So they talked about there being an Underworld Market. So I'm guessing that means that there's the, the regular market, which is maybe the top half of that market, and then the Underworld Market, which you can only use if you're in the Underworld and find a market down there. We can see different items there. It's hard to kind of tell what they are. Let me see if I can, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit on that. Okay, so the first one there looks like it's worth 8 victory points, and maybe it's worth 1 victory point for each card you've trashed. That's my guess based on that symbol, which is interesting because that means each player is going to have their own trash pile, where previously, I don't know how you played, but like we just had a communal throw everything in the trash in one spot. So if that's what that means, then everyone's going to have their own trash pile from now on. The second one, a pair of gloves worth 6 victory points, and there's a little fate symbol on there. Maybe that means you draw a fate card if you buy that. Next, there's some kind of boots worth 1 victory point. Remember, it costs 7 gold to, I'm assuming it still costs 7 gold. Maybe it costs 7 undercoins. I don't know. But it looks like it's still 7 gold. It's only worth 1 point, so it must be a valuable thing. There's a little plus boot. I wonder if that means if you have that, you get an extra boot for free every turn thereafter, which would be pretty strong, and that would explain why it's not worth many points. After that, it looks like 7 victory points times, I think that symbol is the number of stumbles you have, maybe. So maybe this might be a way to discourage people from trashing their stumbles, or there's kind of a balance, right? Because there's more ways to trash, and typically stumble is what you want to trash, but this thing says, no, you can get more stumbles. I don't know. Or maybe it's like the amount of clank you have, not sure. And then it looks like there's more blood amulets. So blood amulet, it looks like it's the same thing as it was previously. Heals you for 2 if you have 5 damage already, and it's worth 7 points. Maybe there's blood amulets in the Underworld and blood amulets in the regular market. And then in the regular market up top, we can see there's a new item, some kind of lantern. It's worth 5 points, and it looks like maybe it gives you 3 undercoins. That's what it seems like. Up above it there, it looks like there's some kind of new minor secret, some kind of like cursed metal or something. It looks like it's worth 2 victory points and maybe gives you a 3 gold discount at a market. All right, so that's kind of what we can see here. Let's go to the next screenshot and see what we can learn there. Okay, so now we can see the the Underworld. Let me just move myself out of the way a little bit here. Okay, so in the video where Paul Denon was talking about Catacombs, or talking about this expansion, Underworld, he mentioned that at the start of the game, I think this central Underworld tile it just starts out, and then the other tiles don't. So presumably when you first enter the Underworld, maybe then the other sides start getting revealed. Anyway, that's the central Underworld tile there, and these side ones will get revealed later, I suppose. Now we can see that there's the letters here. So you can see like the A, B, C, D, E around the different sides of the pentagon, which it seems would correspond to the letters on the tiles with the stairs. So if you go down the A stairs, I guess you're going to end up on the left side there, the A tile, maybe, because the A is like just on the side of the board. So I guess what that means is you would flip over one of these random side Underworld tiles, stick it next to the A board, and then notice that there's like a little ladder space, the top left of that A tile. There's a little dotted line ladder. And in one of the previous shots, if we look here, just above my head here, you can see there's different colored ladders, A, B, C, D, E. So I think if you go down the A ladder, you're going to go to the A side, flip over a tile, and then you're going to take the A ladder tile, stick it on that blank ladder, and probably that's the room that you start in, and that's going to connect to that tile. So you can go up and down that way. Probably cost you a boot to go up and down. I don't know. But that's my guess as to how that works. And then from there, you can start moving around in the Underworld. Okay, what else can we see here? Well, we've got more prisons, so more ways to get prisoners. There's a market right next to me there, so that's, I guess, an Underworld Market. We can see one there. We can see one up there. We can see a few of them. So I'm guessing that's how you get the Underworld items. There's artifacts down here. There's underground rivers. There's harpies, whatever it is they do. Now, what else do we got here? Okay, over here we've got undercoins. These are the harpies. And all right, I'm gonna go to the next one for a closer look at this center Underworld tile. Okay, so we can see those ladder things have been placed here, right? So there's the E that matches with the E. There's the A that matches with the A. Okay, so that is how that works. Now, look at the center tile for a second. So the space right there, not this river, but the one up there. Notice there's a prisoner spot there. So I wonder what that means, because previously, the only way to collect prisoner tiles is to visit a prison and use a lockpick to open it up, and you get 2 prisoners. But I wonder if this one, there's just one prisoner tile sitting there, and so you just go in the room and you can rescue a prisoner. Or, you know what, actually, I don't know. I wonder, because before, the way that like the minor secret spots worked is anyone who went in could get a minor secret, right? It's not like there was one just on the tile and first come, first serve. It's anybody who goes in that room gets a minor secret. But if we look at the top tile there, the C tile on the top left, there are actually minor secrets sitting on the board. And there's right here as well. There's minor secrets sitting on the board right there. So I wonder if this is something different with the way the Underworld works, or what exactly is going on there. I don't know. So that's interesting, actually. Maybe like the first person to go there gets 2 minor secrets, and then after that, anybody who goes there gets 1. That could be interesting. That's my guess. Okay, that's my guess as to how that works right now. Okay, let's look at more stuff in the center tile. So again, that prisoner thing, it looks like anybody who goes in there can rescue a prisoner without spending a lockpick, which is cool. There's a 16-point artifact, that harp, and there's chains on it. So I don't know what that means, but it seems like that spot is specifically for that artifact, right? If we go back here, you can see on the left there's that artifact spot, and it's got the harp graphic on it. So that's where that artifact goes. It's just for that spot, not for any other ones. So it would seem. Okay, we can also see these were the fate rooms. I don't know what they're called, but over on the far left there, and then the tile to the top left, there's a room with that fate icon. Let me slide myself over so I can point at it better. So right here, we got the fate deck, and right here it looks like there's a fate spot. So my guess is you go in that room and you can draw a fate card. Okay, what are fate cards since we're talking about them? Well, let's take a look at the next screenshot. We'll come back to this one. Okay, so here at the bottom are some examples of fate cards. The Sun, worth 10 victory points if you have a mastery token. Cool. So extra incentive to get out alive. Next one, the High Priestess, says reveal on a future turn. When revealed, you don't have to stop in Crystal Caves this turn, and it's also worth 3 victory points. So it looks like this is like a secret card that you know what it is, the other players don't, right? It says reveal on a future turn, so that means it's hidden until you reveal it. And then it's going to give you a one-time effect as well as being worth victory points. So that's kind of interesting. That's going to give players kind of secret goals or secret powers that other players won't know about, which I like. One of the things that is a little bit weird with like the minor secrets and the major secrets in the game is they're not secrets. They're only secrets, and until somebody gets one, but as soon as you get it, you reveal it to everyone. And it's public information, whether you have a healing potion or a boot potion or whatever it is, which, it works fine in the game, but it's a little weird that it's a secret that everyone knows about. Whereas the fate cards looks like they actually are secrets, which is cool. On the right, the Hierophant, reveal on a future turn to teleport to an adjacent room. Interesting how future is italicized in that one, but not on the High Priestess one. Anyway, this is like early images. Presumably that will get corrected before print. But yeah, so having a secret card that can teleport you, that's cool. Also worth 2 victory points. And looking at the top of the cards, you can see there are like Roman numerals. The High Priestess is 2, the Hierophant is 5, the Sun is 14. So I guess there are at least 14 cards in the Fate deck, and hopefully there are more because they sound cool. I'm excited about that. Up at the top there, we can see some new dungeon cards. And some of them interact with the Fate cards, the Hero of Prophecy there. If you have a Fate card, when you play it, trash a card in your play area or discard pile. Okay, that's cool. Underworld Guide over on the right. If you're in the Underworld, draw a card. When you trash this, draw a card. Very nice. Also acquire 1 Undercoin. And then over on the left, arrive, all players get an Undercoin. Okay, so we don't know what those Undercoins are for yet, because it seems like regular gold is what's used to buy stuff from the Underworld Market. That's worth 1 for each secret tome you have. Okay, so I like that. More incentive to buy secret tomes. That was something I liked in the Layers and Lost Chambers expansion. Was there are a few different mechanics in there that kind of encourage players to get secret tomes before just like the very end of the game. I appreciate that. All right, let's go back to the board here. Let's see what else we can figure out. See what else we can discover. All right, there's more way shrines in here. Okay, what about this space right up there? What in the world is that? So it looks like the shape of an undercoin, right? Like we can see like an undercoin over on the right. There's a 4 there. That's 4 undercoins, I guess. But there's no number on it. There's just like that symbol. And what exactly is that? Wait a minute. Let me try to zoom in a little bit on it. So you can see it right here. It sort of looks like a boat. Is that like the river Styx kind of thing? Like somebody sailing the river Styx? I don't know. So I'm not sure what that is. If it's gain 1 undercoin, then I think it's not a good icon. It should just be a 1, just like on the cards, right? Arrive, all players get 1 undercoin. So I'm guessing that's not what that is, but I don't know what it is. But it seems to be somewhat related because it's the same shape. The outline is the same. Now, speaking of that sort of boat icon, look at the tunnels in here. Okay, we got monster tunnels, we got locked tunnels, but what in the world is up here? What is that? That's that little boat thing tunnel. What is that about? So my guess is that if you want to go through one of those tunnels, you have to pay an undercoin to go through it. That's my guess. And I guess that means my guess is that going to this square does give you 1 undercoin. But if that's what it is, I think that's a bad icon. So I don't know. But that's my only guess about that. I have no idea. But those two things seem to be the same symbol to me. It looks like somebody like pushing a gondola. You know what I mean? So we'll have to wait for more details on that. Okay, now in the very center, that's where that Guardian goes, right? What's he called? The Underworld Guardian offers special riches to those who survive the encounter. So that was the that's this guy right here, right? That must be the Underworld Guardian. And so I guess he lives on that middle space in the Underworld, which makes sense. And if you go to the Underworld, you're going to start somewhere on the outside, right? And then you're going to work your way in towards him if you want to. And then it looks like if you defeat him, we don't know how that works, but if you do it, you get that ×2 tile. So what does it say in the description again? The Underworld Guardian offers special riches to those who survive the encounter. So I don't know what that means. Does it mean like double your gold? I don't know. But it looks like there's a stack of tiles there. So maybe multiple people can actually defeat that Guardian, because if we go back here, up there on the right neck, just below the ladders, you can see there are 3 of those tiles. And on one of these things here, you can see that there's a ×1.5. So the top one is ×2, I think. And then the next one's maybe ×1.5. I don't know what the next one would be, ×1.25. I don't know. But it seems like there's like a decreasing value prize gained perhaps from defeating that Guardian, kind of similar maybe to like buying crowns, you know, is worth less as more people do it. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, there's a portal. So those weird little like river Styx roads, they lead to some kind of a portal, it looks like. But I think that's a specifically Underworld portal, because if we go here, you can see that that portal there looks different from the normal portals. Over on the far right there, on the depths tiles, you can see the normal portals, and this one is like different. So it looks different. That must mean it's different. So I'm guessing that that's just going to let you teleport around within the Underworld. I think I saw somewhere another tile that had an Underworld portal on it. I can't see any in this image. Nothing here. So I'm not sure any here. There's just that one so far. So I don't know, but I think somewhere, maybe in the YouTube video, I saw one of the side tiles might have had an Underworld portal on it. I'm not sure. And again, the towers with the boots is mysterious, right? Because there's another one, that top tile, that top Underworld side tile. That's a crystal cave, but it has that tower with the boot. So I don't know what that means. We can also see some of these Underworld tiles also can be haunted, by the way. Okay, so what else is there? Well, I think that's kind of it. Oh, okay. So again, there's those harpy tiles, and we don't know what they do. But above that, that seems to be the Imp Assistant. So in the middle paragraph there, discover mystical towers, blah, 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 or recruit an Imp Assistant to learn even more from your secret tomes. And so the space in the center, just above the center Guardian space, there's like a library, and that looks like an impy kind of guy. So perhaps if you visit him or it or whatever, you can get one of these tiles up there, which gives you value. It looks like it's worth 3 victory points for each secret tome you have. And then the other thing, I don't know. I don't know what that other thing is up top there. Looks like secret tome and then arrows, and then I don't know what that icon to the right of it is. But anyway, something to do with secret tome. So that seems to be what's going on there. The Imp Assistant is in that little library. Okay. Other things on this page, at the very top, we can see some different prisoners. So there's going to be different prisoners there. It looks like, I don't know, does that give you an undercoin? Again, if so, it's inconsistent. Some of them say 1, some of them have that symbol. I'm not sure, but it's worth 1 victory point. And then there's a minor secret that's worth 1, and it's a slide. So does that mean you can just choose when you want to slide down into the underworld? I don't know. If you do slide down, it's not really clear where you would land, right? Because with the ladders, they're labeled. They tell you exactly where you're going to go. But with the slide, I don't see any kind of like downward slide or whatever. So I'm not sure exactly how that would work. Anyway, that I think is kind of everything that I can at least figure out from looking at all these screenshots. I hope that was interesting. I'm very excited about this. I think this looks super cool. I love the idea of another layer below the depths, the underworld, the secret realm of Min or something is what they called it in the video. So it looks very exciting to me. I like the fact that we're going to get new cards, new secrets, new money. It's all very exciting. So if you're interested in this, again, the link is in the description below. You can watch the video yourself. They said this is going to be coming out in the fall of, it's 2025 as I record this. So in the fall of 2025. So just really in a few months from right now, which is June. But it's going to be a Kickstarter as well. The Kickstarter is July 8th. That's going to open up. I don't know why it's a Kickstarter, but you know, this might be a good way. If you haven't gotten into Clank Catacombs yet, you can probably get like a bundle. In fact, I think I saw in a YouTube comment, they're going to have that. So you could get the base Clank Catacombs plus Lairs and Lost Chambers plus this. Maybe they'll let you get the past promo cards. I really hope so. Anyway, it's all very exciting. So let me know what you think. Do you think I kind of got things right here? Do you have any ideas about some of the stuff that I wasn't sure about? Do you think I got anything wrong? Let me know. If you want more Clank content, I've got some playthroughs of Clank Digital on my channel, unboxing of Lairs and Lost Chambers, and lots of Dune Imperium content. So if you're into Dune Imperium, definitely subscribe and check out my channel. I've got strategy guides, how to plays, and a lot of gameplay videos. That's it. You can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/bludgeon, and you can watch me stream live Sunday mornings, Eastern time. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.